Just gonna wait for you guys to join and then we'll get started. I'm so excited to be here. Excited to be here back with the Gender Justice series. All right, hope everyone is having a good day, and I hope that this week has been productive. Wait for... My name is Bolanle, and of the Gender Justice series. And for the last few months, hear me? Is it okay? Okay, so for the last few weeks, we have been having very insightful conversations with first ladies across Nigeria, and I'm excited to have another conversation. Today really is going to be an insightful conversation, and we will go ahead and get our guest in and begin already. Okay. And we will get started. Pin. Let's see if we can. Just waiting to get this connection through so we can start. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the internet will do what it's supposed to. Okay, connecting. Oh, wonderful.
Hi.
Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Fine. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to me today. It's such a pleasure to meet you virtually.
That's nice. It's a pleasure to meet you too. I've been following your work for a while and you guys are doing amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
We've had some insightful and engaging conversations that I'm so glad that, we've been able to have robust opinions from all the different geopolitical. So when I found out that, you had agreed to do this interview, I was so excited because honestly, in so many ways, here in Nigeria, sometimes you feel like you're not getting a full, understanding of all the different voices. And really great to be able to speak to you specifically about this topic that we're talking about, empowering girls and education. Yeah. So how are you doing? How's everything going over there?
I'm doing good. Alhamdulillah. We're
Good.
doing our best. So far, we've done quite a bit in the empowerment area.
Yeah, and we're going to go into that and we're going to talk about that a lot more, when we get into our conversation. I just want to talk to you about, this topic where we're talking about gender justice. I'm thinking about a Nigeria that is just when it comes to gender. What does that mean to you, personally from a standpoint, and also even as a first lady of Zamfara State?
Okay, personally, I think it's very important because everyone knows women are like the backbone of every society, and we do just equal or even more than the male. So I don't see any reason why we should not, there shouldn't be any gender equality in the workplace or anything like that. I do not agree with that. I stand against it. And as a first lady of a state, I mean, I'm the voice of the women of the state, so I have to speak out.
Yeah. And I know that, when we're talking about the disparity in terms of us in the South understanding what's happening in the North and the progress in education, can you talk to us about what's currently happening in terms of people's response to ensuring that their girl child is going to school?
Okay, the truth is, in the north, or let me talk specifically about Zamfara,
Right.
it's the education level of girls is extremely low.
Yeah.
Because I got the statistic numbers of the enrolled students in government school, and girls are like half or
Yeah.
less than half the number of boys going to school.
Mm.
And these issues are mostly because, well, I would say poverty,
Right.
to be honest, because these parents would rather send their kids out on the street to
Hmm.
hawk or sell something just to get a source of income. Or
Right.
sometimes they feel like just marrying them off to someone, you know, it's just like taking a burden off your head or something. There's someone else's responsibility and all. So I think when we really look at it, it all comes down to poverty and just how broken the system is, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'll stop there.
No, no, I'm please feel free to elaborate as much as possible. And I'm glad that you actually brought that up. I'm just pulling up my computer because, in terms of you talking about, in terms of the statistics of and the rate in which girls are being married off. So
Mm-hmm.
according to the National Bureau of Statistics, this was a survey in 2018 affiliation with the UNICEF. It says about
Mm-hmm.
71.4% of girls before the age of 18 are being married. And that's
Yeah.
between, so when you hear statistics like 71% of girls are going to be married before the age of 18, and you mentioned poverty,
Mm.
for your passion and your commitment to wanting girls to be educated, where do you even start from?
Well, our religion allows it.
Yeah.
So I have to, you get, but it's to me, it's not really about marrying someone off before the age of 18. It's more about forcing someone into, like, a child probably wants to go to school, the girl probably wants to have a future, but then you force this child into getting married just because of your own personal reasons or just because you can't cater for that child. But at the same time, we can't really blame them because, I mean, the whole system, lack of jobs everywhere, lack of employment, and like I said, poverty is
Right.
it's that's why we try as much as possible. And the thing is, when a woman is empowered, hello,
Hello?
to empower women, most especially, hello, the network is bad.
Yeah, the network is bad. Wow. But I can hear you. I can hear you, ma'am. Please go on.
Okay, so I was like, that's why we try as much as possible to empower these women,
Mhm.
because we feel if they have something doing, if they have a certain source of income, they
Yeah.
would actually, because every woman wants the best for her child.
Right.
So they would, when a woman is empowered, she empowers the whole family, the husband, the children, everyone basically. So that's the
Yeah,
whole point.
I wish I don't have much insight. For me, having
Mm.
conversations like this is really important because I want to know more. I don't want to have stereotypes or assumptions. And I know that the viewers at home who were not in the communities and we're not in Zamfara, so we don't really get
Mm-hmm.
a better understanding of what's going
Mm-hmm.
on. How much
Okay.
would you say is empowering and empowering the main issue where young girls are being married off at an early age versus and cultural cultural behaviors
Mm-hmm.
masked religious expectations. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's more so if these people really have financial opportunities and they're empowered, do you think that it would sincerely reduce the rate in which girls are being married at a young age?
Definitely, I definitely believe that. Well, we must respect religion and culture at the same time,
Yeah.
but I have a few empowerment programs that I've been running since I came into office with the support of my amazing husband, the governor of the state. So we empower 1,800 women every month with the sum of 20,000 naira as a source of capital for them to go into small scale businesses. But this, I set up this committee in like 3 phases. I have like the main committee, and then I have my coordinators. We have 14 local government areas in the state. So each local government, I have a coordinator and her members.
Right.
But my work is all for women. All the people I work with are women. All my coordinators, everything women. So these coordinators, they have members. And then the third phase is the monitoring committee.
Okay.
So what we do is these coordinators go into the grassroots levels. I'm sure you've seen pictures on my pages. Yeah. They go down to those villages. We do it in a strategic way. We have about 147 words. So we use those words. We go door to door. We give this women form. Once they fill it, the monitoring committee confirms that these persons trying to get this capital are actually in need of this. And then after everything is done, then they disburse the money. After another month, we go to a different set of women. We empower them. And then this same monitoring committee goes back to make sure that these women are actually, you know, doing the business that they're meant to do with the money. Because before we give you, we ask you, what do you want to do that is worth 20,000, which is actually a lot of money. And you can start a lot of business, a small scale business with. And then I would not tell you 100% all these women are actually doing these businesses, but 70%, 80%. So I'm glad.
That's good. And do you see now, this is the woman, right? We've talked about the woman. A woman understands what it is to be a mother at an early age. She understands the disadvantages. Now, what about the father? What is their response and their reaction to getting them on board to making sure that their girls are going to school and finishing up their education?
Sorry?
I said the fathers, are they on board with making sure that the girls are going to school and finishing up their education, or are they a bit hesitant?
No, I really can't say, because I don't know how everyone runs their households. But what I can say is the education level for girls or women in the state is actually quite poor. But we are doing as much as possible. In fact, so far, His Excellency has already provided free education in the state, in all government schools. And I don't know if you followed, but a few months back, he went to one of the boarding schools himself to check the food. And so he's actually also very passionate about the whole education thing, which makes it easier because the men have another voice to listen to.
In so many ways, if they see a leader who's saying, make sure that your girls are also going to school, there's more of it. There's a change.
There is. And we have managed to empower a few students. We've enrolled a few of them into schools, mostly orphans, educationally. And I don't know if you heard about the motorcycle first lady incident.
No, please share it with us.
Oh, no. It was a funny story about this girl, I think Fatima or something. I came across it on Twitter.
Right.
And apparently she walks about 2 kilometers distance to get to school from where she stays.
Okay.
So I thought of a way to actually help, you know, because it was all over Twitter at that point. It was making noise everywhere and they kept tagging me. So someone brought my attention to it, and then I called the family. The girl and her dad came over, And instead of just giving them cash gifts or something, we had a discussion, and the father was interested in like a transportation business. So I gave him like a motorcycle so he could transport his child to school every day, and at the same time,
You can
do
also,
the motorcycle business and
yeah,
try to do something. And that was, I think, like 2 months into governance.
right, right.
Yeah, and I got named the motorcycle first lady. Yeah.
I, what has it been? And we're going to come back and talk to this, but what has it been like, your experience being a first lady? And was it something that you transitioned with ease, or was it a bit more challenging that you thought it would be?
It is definitely challenging. I don't think anyone would say it's easy, but I think I am learning so much from this amazing platform, of being a first lady. I feel like I've grown so much in this just a year plus, you see different things. You see people in situations you don't even believe still exist. You see poverty in different levels, and you just try to help everyone, but you can just do your best. So I mostly try to focus on things that can happen long time, like even if I'm here or not, like policies, pushing laws, like we're fighting the whole GBV issue,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
and all that. Yeah, and we've been working with the state UBEC, trying to make skills and acquisition like a subject at secondary school levels, and the whole pushing the GBV topics into school and all. So it's a
Yeah.
working process.
And I'm glad you brought that up. I want to talk a little bit about that. We, in so many ways, I know the First Ladies Forum has come together to
Mm-hmm.
really, for making sure that all these different acts are domesticated, the PAP Act and the Child
Mm-hmm.
Rights. So can you tell us a little bit what the status is on that, and how possible do you think it is that both these laws will be domesticated in Zamfara?
Oh, we're very hopeful, and it is possible. Nothing is impossible. And so far, we have set up a GV.
Just a quick pause. Hopefully she'll be back soon. All right, guys, it seems as though we lost her just for a second, but I'm hoping that. Okay, you're back. You're back.
Yes,
Can
I
you
am
hear
back.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Mm.
So we stopped at where you said you're setting up. That's the
Yes,
last thing I heard.
yes, a GBV state management working committee.
Okay.
So far, I've met with the SAC center coordinators and their staff. I've had
Okay.
a meeting with the chief judge of the state. I've had a meeting with the Council of Ulama. Are you aware of the Council of Ulama?
No, I'm not. Please, can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Okay, yes, they're like a council of strong religious leaders in the state, and they're a very, very strong council, and they are working in collaboration with us. In fact, we're working on setting up a GBV workshop for
Okay.
traditional rulers, for doctors, nurses, and all that. And they've been running this program on air. It's like they use the religious teachings to
Right.
warn people about rape and issues concerning violence and all that. So the beauty of it is that the religion is against it. So
Yeah.
all these bodies are coming together with the Ministry of the Women Affairs, Ministry of Justice, Education, and basically we're done with the TOR so far. What else? We're still working on it.
You know,
Yeah.
I know that for some laws to be domesticated, especially because states in the north, you guys also have Sharia law that you're also.
Yes. Yes.
in terms of the domestication conversations that you, can you let us know that will have to be adjusted when it comes to domestication laws? Because I know that there's some of the laws that they almost
contradict, yeah, with the Sharia law, yeah. Yes, the thing that we're trying to do is, because like I told you, we must respect culture and religion. So the main aspect of the Child's Right Act law that is important is fine with the Sharia law. Just a few that have to be expunged. I think they're called the contagious law. They took it up like I think a few years ago. They extracted them, and I think if we can do that successfully, then the laws can be domesticated.
Right.
We just have to avoid whatever contradicts with the Islamic Sharia law.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You know, I think for us again, who are based in the south part of Nigeria, we don't have enough conversations with people who are living in the northern part of Nigeria. I want to get from your opinion. What part of Nigeria did you grow up in the north?
Personally, I grew up in Abuja.
Okay, you grew up in Abuja.
Yes.
Now, we say as a northerner, why do you think there's such a hindrance in open conversations between the north and the south? And just kind of, in so many ways, we see each other as other, and kind of like both parts have these assumptions about what's happening there.
I think it's basically from bringing up, because I am a northerner and I actually do not have any issues with people from there. And then I think it's also still, okay, it's live.
No, please feel free.
So I think it also has to do with different cultures,
Right.
Everyone is oriented differently, and both the south and the north, we all have beautiful, amazing, different types of orientation and culture.
And I want to know a little bit more in terms of the program that you mentioned, you spoke about earlier. You are educated and you're also very passionate, because you mentioned that you're doing the empowerment for 1,000 girls. Now I want to talk about the initiative and the scheme that you set.
So far we have empowered 18,200. Yes.
So that means
from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Yes, from the beginning till today, 18,200 women and girls all across the 14 local government areas of the state. And we include, we take out a separate package which we give out to like internally displaced peoples, Fulanis that are from like the Ruga Fulanis, widows, Market Women Association. Like, we try to involve everyone in the empowerment program, basically.
Right. And that I completely lost. I was gonna talk to you a little bit about the scheme that I know you've set up. In terms of the scheme, have you seen, because you mentioned that you guys are giving out these grants and people are beginning to do a little bit of work, but how much do you think it's going to really help in lifting people out of poverty, and what role do you think infrastructure has to play with really changing what's happening on ground?
What do you mean infrastructure?
I mean, like, for example, it's possible. Okay, I'll give you an example. For example, in Lagos here, maybe someone has a business and they want to do a business, right? If electricity is constant, even if you give them funds to start a business, if they don't have strong infrastructure like electricity, good work, these grand things that help make sure that the quality of life is better, kind of is a hindrance. It's almost like two things that are working parallel to each other. They're not working towards the same place, but they're working opposite each other. So my question is, I know because, and the reason why I'm asking is because I know that, you know, you're working alongside your husband. I mean, you know,
Yes.
your role is not elected, but at least
I'm an
here.
advocate.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So how important is it that, you know, beyond the giving out the grants and, you know, the cash, how important do you think infrastructure plays, and what do you feel like the state is doing towards making that happening?
Okay, I think you asked the question and you answered in the process of explaining, because basically you said it's like going to be very difficult without all these good roads and everything, and you forgot insecurity,
Yeah,
which is one of the biggest issues in our state. And well, all I can say is my husband, who I'm very proud of, is doing an amazing job so far concerning infrastructure. A lot of road constructions have been going on. A lot of new projects like the airport project, which would
right.
create a lot of jobs for youths, you know, in the state.
Of course.
And then also around the area of electricity and everything, he's really working hard towards that too. And I think those questions are for him to answer. But concerning if it hinders or not, I believe nothing is too small. Like, with it's better than not having an option at all. Like, I can't just say, okay, let me sit back and
Okay.
wait until all these roads are built or until there's electricity before I can do something. Women are creative. I mean, you before you know it, you don't need electricity to make beads, or we have all these sewing machines that don't actually work with electricity, even though it's more difficult, but
Traditional
it's
one.
better than doing nothing, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
brought up a point, and that was going to be my next question. You know, I want
Mm.
into talking about insecurity. How much of that is a hindrance when people think about sending their kids to boarding school,
Mm-hmm.
for both girls and boys, right? How
Mm-hmm.
much of that has been a hindrance in terms of really the enrollment rates up?
Mm, definitely it has been, or it was, but I'm very sure now everyone can tell and can see that it is actually much, much better.
Yeah,
He, like the whole insecurity issues. I mean, we have Fulanis now coming into town selling their no, I don't know if you know no and fura, which
hmm
they couldn't do before, you know. People move around freely. When I came to Zamfara the first time, I could not go out after dark.
mm.
But now everyone comes, they do their business, and they go back like to their various local governments, no matter how late. And I just think that's amazing, because we keep hearing these testimonies everywhere. I get lots of gifts, like from Fulani women coming in saying thank you so much. We're among people now. We live freely, you know. So
Mm.
he's doing a great job concerning
Yeah,
insecurity, and it's better now. So it shouldn't be a problem for anyone to send their child to school.
yeah. No, and
Mm.
I have to say that I've, you know, in my doing my research, it
Mm-hmm.
really, so there has been a bit of a shift and
Mm-hmm.
a change in what's happening on ground, and the security levels are
Mm-hmm.
increasing. What about in terms of the IDP camps? You mentioned that a little bit, and COVID has been just, you know, one of those experiences that has changed everything. Um,
Yeah.
how has COVID affected, you know, the women that you've been working with in terms of their ability to have sales and, you know, pick up their businesses?
Mm-hmm. So when the whole COVID-19 started, it was very devastating, to be honest. Everything was on lockdown. No one could go out and work. And all I kept thinking of was the women, you know, that are down there. And at that point, the major issue was hunger, because now you're not working and you do not have food. So we organized this a relief package, like palliatives, where we put like rice, millet, sugar, spaghetti, macaroni, basically just food packages, I used my women while still maintaining social distancing, and because I think at that point we had very little cases.
Mhm.
So while maintaining social distances and federal government warnings, we still tried to move into this local governments, even though it took a longer time this time because we had to spread as much as we can. And
Right.
we managed to empower 10,000 women with food palliative.
I hope she comes back. Hi.
Hi, okay.
I was like, dude, I hope she comes back. Yes.
Okay.
So you stopped at 10,000.
Yes, we managed to empower 10,000 women with palliatives across, well, like all I have to do is across the whole local government areas of the state, while working hand in hand with the wives of the sole administrators, that's the chairman of the local governments. So we managed to successfully do that. And also, concerning empowering, the corona wasn't, well, it's still here. So I decided to start a mask up program. Oh,
Okay.
well, better lighting. Yeah. I decided to start up a mask up program, which we teach women how to make face masks, reusable face masks, because we kept buying sanitizers, face masks, and distributing. And at a point, it was getting too expensive and they were very disposable, the face masks. So we decided to start the production of face mask and hand sanitizer. And we did it, we zoned it, but we tried to get everyone from around the local government, because each zone has like about four local governments. We trained these women. We just concluded the last one, which was in Anchor local government. And after training them, we are still empowering them, because we keep buying from them and we keep distributing to the general
Got it.
public.
Got it.
Yes, in fact, even the governor was so proud of our work that he decided to empower those particular women, and he asked them to make him 10,000 hand sanitizers and face masks for a start. So I think that's amazing, because all the work is their own. It has nothing to do with me. They make their money, and they've learned a skill.
Yeah. Yeah. And not
And
only they're, in so many ways providing an essential service in this time and
yes.
generating income for themselves.
And we've provided them with everything they need to start. Aside cash gifts, like for the face mask producing trainees, we've given them the whole sewing machines, the bayas, the foam, everything. We've taught them the credibility test, in fact,
Okay.
because you can't sell the face masks if it doesn't work.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
That's that's really impressive, honestly, I have to say. And I feel like in so many ways it's encouraging to get people are finding some sort of lemonade in the midst of these lemons. What
Lemons, exactly.
about school? Schools have been out of session for a few months,
For a while.
a while, and have you are the students, the girls that you guys work with in terms of enrolling them, are you
Mm-hmm.
concerned that enrollment rates might be lower when schools do resume in September because people have been out for so long and they might just not?
Oh no. Yeah, but well, concerning schools and students and all that, the the issue with that is, I think after this whole COVID thing in Zamfara State, just watch that space. We're going to have high number of girl child enrolled in school because
Really?
we were actually working on this program of mine before the whole COVID started, where we're going to enroll 3,000 girl students for a start. We're going to provide them, well, education is free, but they need basic needs like school books, school bags, and writing materials, and socks, basically a backpack for school for you to start, like a start kit.
Yeah, like a
Everything you need, yes, everything you need would be provided. And the first set of students we're looking to enroll at 3,000 girl students across the 14 local governments of the state. It's going to be like the pilot program, and then if it goes well, then we move on from there. Because I like sticking to my work. If you notice, I just don't like starting something and then running away.
Of course. So how do you guys, in terms of the enrollment, like since you guys had the pilot, what's the strategy to get them enrolled? I mean, if this child has not been enrolled in school, there's a reason. What are the steps to convincing the parents?
Okay. So, I have my Women Empowerment Scheme program.
Yeah.
So the plan was to go into the grassroots. By the way, I sometimes move along with them. I go there myself. We go into this grassroots and we tell these women, okay, we're here to empower you, but if you have kids that are not in school, so we would empower you and also empower your child to go to school, but only on the condition that you allow this child to actually go to school. So we are kind of killing two birds with one stone.
So it's try butter.
Yes, so they definitely want the empowerment, so they would let the girl go to school. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
And was that, in terms of the process, was that quite successful, or were people still a bit like, it's not worth it?
No, it is, because the truth is, like I told you, these women actually want their kids to go to school. Like, they actually want a better life for their children, but it's basically just they don't. It's so heartbreaking. Like, when you go there yourself and you see the way they live and everything, you don't blame them at all. It's
because you mentioned that a lot of times poverty is causing people to be married off, and when you look at the statistics in terms of the age, there are people who are much older. And are these people providing financial support? Are they from wealthy families, the men that they're marrying them off to, or is it just anyone that's going to take them?
Honestly, sometimes it is from people who are like wealthy, and sometimes I just feel like it's just a way to just take off responsibility off your head, like just anyone that comes, And there's this whole thing in the like northern culture about when a girl is up to age, she should get married and all.
Yeah.
And people try to maintain that.
I had a conversation with, in terms of my conversation, I've had a conversation about this specifically, about the early marriage and the child marriage, early marriage rather. And she talked a little bit about how there's a hindrance to adjust to an idea that a girl should be older before she gets married. When you're speaking to the traditional ruler, the religious ruler, the religious leader, is that conversation being had with any of them to encourage more enrollment for girls?
Well, the truth is, so far, all the traditional leaders that I have been able to affiliate myself with, they are actually very, very extremely open-minded, and they are actually in support of having this girl like empowered with education. They agree with me. No one has complained. No one has said no. In fact, most of them have supported and have spoken about it. So I feel like they do not have a problem with that.
Okay.
So far.
Is this something that they would start talking to their community members about,
Yeah,
or?
I think most of them have started. Even about the whole GBV issue, most of them have voiced out their opinions. We've reached out to them, and in fact, we're including them in the GBV state management
Right.
committee. In
Okay.
fact, yes. So they are.
Fingers crossed she comes back. I think we're both having a little bit of internet issues, but fingers crossed this connection would. We'll just give it a few more minutes. Oh, I think the internet really did a number on us. All right, let's give it another try. Let's see. Oof. Okay. Sorry, I know I'm just being so still, but I'm just trying to. I'm really hopeful that this connects. If not, we will. Fingers crossed she comes back. But I think there's been a lot of insightful. There just has to be more conversation, and we're hoping that a lot more of our leaders and people who are in authority can really advocate for ensuring that girls are able to go to school. I don't think, I'm trying to get her back on here, but I think the internet might be a bit of an issue. Let's see. Oh, perfect.
Hi, can you see me?
Yes, I can see.
I don't know why I can't see you though.
Can you see me?
No.
Let me. No. Can you see me?
Oh wow.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Maybe I should.
Yeah, can you leave and come back again? Okay. I don't want to kill the momentum of this interview, and I know we have a few questions in here, but will I be taking questions from the audience? Well, I mean, yeah, feel free to send in your questions and we'll see what we can do. Okay, I think we're struggling to. Hello, can you hear me? Can you see?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Just having internet issues.
Yes, I know.
It's all a bit funky. You know, I honestly, every time our internet goes well and it's good, I always feel like it's a miracle because yeah. So before we wrap up, I just want to ask you one question in terms of legacy. What do you feel like is important when it comes to legacy? When you think of your legacy, what does that mean?
That's a very deep question. Okay, when we talk of my legacy, like the
Yeah.
legacy I want to leave behind, you
Yes,
mean as First Lady of the state?
Yeah.
Well, I want to set the bar so high that anyone who's coming in after me like needs to gear up. Seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, my legacy, I want my legacy to be the wife that did the most for her husband.
And for the state and for, the woman that you're working with,
Mm-hmm.
is there,
Sorry?
in terms of for the state and the
Mm-hmm.
women that you're working with,
Mm-hmm.
big goals that,
Yeah.
you want?
Yes, I want it to be that by the time we're done with all the work we're done, like the numbers would actually show that the level of poverty, among women has changed, and then girls are like more respected, more like involved in the
Right.
system and more listened to and appreciated, because women, girls, because we I don't I what a man can do, a woman can do better. Let me just leave it
Right.
at that. Yes.
Of course, definitely.
Yeah. I
Definitely.
saw someone saying something about Fulani and what we've done to Fulani or something. I'm not sure.
Um,
But
okay, let me go back and see if I could find that question. Uh, I think I see what you were talking about. They mentioned something about Fulani women.
yes, because we've been
Clarify?
yeah, we've been working with a lot of Fulani women, to be honest. I think almost most of my concentration has been on them, because when it comes to like people who I feel like are left behind are all the Fulanis that are in the rugas, like when I say ruga, I mean their villages, their where they stay. And the reason why I really care about them is basically because I just care about improving, empowering women educationally, because I feel like when you have knowledge and when you're exposed, all these issues, tiny issues like GBV, like rape and all this thing, the stigma would be less,
Mm,
like around the society and everything. We have collaborated with ITF, NDEA, and we have trained more than enough Fulani women
mm,
under skill and acquisition programs. And we send a lot of palliatives. In fact, during this COVID-19, I sent my team into the Fulani Rugas just to sensitize,
mm,
create awareness, let them know what is going on, like they need to be safe, provide them with enough sanitizers, flyers in pictures, so they would understand, like cartoon pictures and all, how to use them, face masks. I just feel like the Fulanis need to be more looked into, and brought into society, so that all this thoughts of them being neglected would be out of their head. Like everyone needs to be
right.
in the movement.
What has been the response, when you are interacting with them? Do you find that they're open to being more part of communities and really settling down?
Yes, they really, really are open to being part of the community, and they are always grateful, because what they keep saying is no one has ever made them like feel important and or classified them, as people and all that. And we're working on mostly the whole girl child education issue, mostly directing it towards the Fulanis because they need it the most.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, there are a lot of misconceptions and there's also a lot of theories when it comes to the Fulani group.
Yeah.
And I feel like there seems to be a little bit of a hindrance in the fact that we don't have enough accurate information. Um, what can you tell us a little bit about how Fulanis interact with the indigents of Zamfara State?
That has to do with, I think you're trying to come back to insecurity.
Yes.
Well, now, as
Mm-hmm.
of right now, it's much better. like so much progress has been done. There's this peace deal that His Excellency is working on with the Fulanis and the bandits and everyone. And some of them actually come and surrender. And you know, when these women, their wives, come to meet me, they keep telling me that, yes, they are so happy that their husbands are not doing all this anymore. They are so happy. And I keep telling them, okay, keep advising them, keep showing them that this is right and this is wrong. And those who do not agree to the peace deal and all are dealt with according to law. So just recently, His Excellency gave out about 200 Hilux vehicles to all the security agencies in the state, so that they can move around and try to reduce the level of insurgency more. Because the truth is, if that issue of insurgency does not come down, like no matter what work we do, no one would know, because it stops everything. It stops people from moving around, stops people from sending their kids to school, like you said. So I'm so glad things are better now. We sleep with two eyes closed.
No, I mean, you are there and you are the one that's on the ground. And in so many ways, you've given us a lot of insight to what's happening. And I think we're all watching and we're hopeful that we'll hear more positive stories. And I know that this is a day and age where we get to keep all of our leaders accountable. So, eyes are watching, and we're hopeful that there will be a lot more progress in terms of making sure that the literacy rate goes down and really getting the girls enrolled into school like you're doing. So
yes, and women having a source of business or something, because that is extremely important. Like, when you empower a woman, you empower a nation.
You really do.
Yes.
Thank you for talking with me. I know our internet was a little bit
Well, I should be saying thank you, because I thought you had your last session already, but I was shocked when I was told I was coming here again.
When we heard, Yemi, who runs Enough is Enough Nigeria, mentioned to me it was secure, we were more than open to having. We want to continue to keep this conversation going.
Yes.
Anyways, what is happening in Northern Nigeria? Sometimes it feels like a shell, and we don't know what's going on, and we wanted to hear firsthand on what's really happening on ground and the work that you guys are doing. So thank you for agreeing to.
All right. You're
All
welcome.
right.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Good night, ma'am. Bye.
Good night. Thank you. Bye.
Again, we always are really thankful when we get to have these conversations, because the honest truth about it is there's steps, and it's important that we continue to keep our leaders accountable, and hopefully there will be a lot more progress and growth. And I want to say sorry about the internet, just such a challenge, unfortunately. And thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you next time on the next Gender Justice series. All right, good night.